Okay, making sure my mic is on because you're gonna laugh at me. I recorded this video for this topic, a 45-minute video, and I stopped it and went back to look at it, and I did not turn my microphone on, so there was no sound. I was like, instantly, I was like, oh my goodness. um, so I was like debating. I'm like, am I gonna re-record this today, or am I gonna like get up in the morning and record it? Because I know I want to record this, but here I was like, you know what? Let me take a break. I have like PTSD now. Is this thing on? Okay, yeah, the light's on. Going to re-record this. Maybe I need to. I'm like, okay, did I not say something that I was supposed to say in the video? Is that why this happened the way it happened? Um, I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna be all comfortable now on the couch. We're chatting. I feel like this microphone is bugging me a little bit. I'm gonna be checking it like 500 times now to make sure it's on. Put it down here. So I want to do a recap on this business event that I just attended, which was called She Is Made for More Live, which the community that it is through is the She Is Made for More community, and the founder of that community is Crystal Jacobo. I think that's how you say her last name. I should know how to say her last name by now because I've been to 4 of her events this year. Um, and let me just say that every single event that I've been to has been the perfect the perfect thing that I needed in whatever season of my journey that I was in this year. And I could do a whole video talking about the impact each event has made on my journey. I just want to focus on the most recent event that I went to. I almost talked myself out of going to this event 2 times. And every event that I went to this year was really more about it was more for personal growth, more for like inner healing and pouring back into you versus like specifically your business, because this event was like specifically for your business, getting in the room, networking, connecting with women that you needed to bring into your business, or whatever. The speakers talked about business, talked about wealth, and just like different opportunities. And so it was completely different than anything I've gone to this year. I'm so glad that I didn't let myself be talked out of going to this event, because it literally, I feel like it collapsed time for me. And if you're someone who's in the, like, you've heard about the law of attraction, you've heard about, the manifesting and just being abundant and attracting things into your life, there's this concept of collapsing time, which essentially just means that you're basically unlocking a level of yourself that's already been within you, but there may be like limiting beliefs that are blocking you from attracting the things that you want in your life and having that abundance, to bring basically the things that you're calling in. And this event really helped me to unlock some pieces of myself, like some layers that were ready to just like be done with. And I connected with some women, which, like, for me, connection is so, so important, but like deep connection is like one of the most valuable things for me that I have just learned, about myself. Like, I value such intentional relationships and deep connection. Like, I don't want surface level relationships in my life. I want, seriously, like deep connections. I want to like fully love people, and I want to feel that love in return with the right people. And I've just really started to learn that about myself this year, and just like even my relationships with my family, which is like off topic, but um realizing how much I value the people that I love in my life and how much I want to surround myself with that, as much as I possibly can, is just something I've learned about myself this year. And being in that room, there were a couple of women that I just know I was meant to, like, we were meant to come into each other's lives. And I'll talk about a few like pivotal moments for me when I was in that room. So, the first thing that I will say is I loved that this event was so intimate. There was only like 70 people that went, and I know Crystal said that that was very intentional because she wanted to give us opportunity to, again, like really find our people, to be able to ask questions from the speakers that were there, and get like personal answers based on our businesses, and like do like question and answer type of stuff. So, and then one of the things that she allowed for us to do is we went around the room and we all got 30 seconds to speak into the microphone and say who we were, what our business was, what we do, and basically like an ask for the room, so that we could, ask people for certain connections that we needed within our business. And um, we all went around the room and, like, we would write down people if they said like I do this and you felt like it would be a good business connection, or you wanted to like learn more from them, you could write them down and just kind of like make a note of like I need to um, reach out with that person or whatever. Like I feel like it could be a great business collaboration, whatever it may be. And there were a couple of women that were in that room that I, felt like, okay, I'm going to write them down. I'm going to make a note to for sure connect with them at some point today. And there was this one person, there was a couple of them, but there was this one girl in the room. She was like one of the last ones to speak. And the way that she was so soft spoken, and she got emotional with some of the things that she shared, and I felt just like really pulled towards her. Um, Not because like I felt like not necessarily because our business is aligned, although they kind of can. It had more to do with her energy, and I ended up writing her name in my notebook and was just like, need to connect with her. Like I didn't really know why, I just really wanted to like connect with her. And we did at one point. There we had like a break in between sessions or whatever, and I just came in the room at one point and she was in there and there wasn't really anybody in there, and I just like struck up a conversation with her, and we exchanged Instagram or whatever, and we just kind of chat for a little bit. But that's all it really was. And so then whatever, like the day goes on, and later that evening we had, it was kind of like this party at the end of the day, which it was like this rock and roll thing, which was super cool. And it was just like, it was an add-on to the, not an add-on, but it was just another part of the event that we could enjoy and just have fun. And we were all dancing, having a good time, and I saw her like kind of in the corner by herself, like kind of like standing like this. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I just like made my way over to her, was like dancing and then just like talking more with her. And then we come to find out that we were on the same flight for the following morning, which it left at like 5 in the morning. So we would have to leave the hotel at like 3 or 3:30 or something like that. So we ended up deciding, okay, like let's make sure that we go together, and then we can like ride together, and how cool, like we can board together and everything, super cool. Yeah, so we ended up doing that, and there was two other girls that we all like went together because we either had a similar flight time or we were all on the same flight. And so I got to like just chat with her while we were at the airport and learn more about her and everything. And I just like felt, I don't know, like she was like the type of person that I'm like, gosh, I wish we lived close to each other, because she is just such a positive energy. And we're pretty much the same age. I'm pretty sure we were like within a year or two, same age. same like very like season of life, and both have businesses obviously. And I'm like, gosh, like it's so hard to find friends that are, they have like the same ambitions of you, they're in the same season as you. It's really challenging to find women like that in your life. And in my head I'm kind of like, I really wish that like, we like we lived in the same town. That'd be awesome, like to have a friend like that. But we stayed connected. We board on the plane, and it's so funny because we didn't have seats next to each other, but um, as we're getting on, so we boarded like together, and she's in front of me, and she finds her seat. So we're boarding, and she's supposed to sit on the end next to this woman. And in front of the woman is a guy sitting by himself in that row. And he was like, "Oh, do you want this row?" And I think it was so that he could sit with his wife. So basically, like trade seats, and then she gets that spot to herself. And she was like, "Oh yeah." And so all that happens. I'm literally in the back of the plane on the very like the very last row. Well, and she texts me because like pretty much at this point everyone is boarded, and she's like, "I don't think there's anyone sitting in here, like sitting next to me. If you want to come sit by me." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like yeah, like why not? Why don't we sit by each other for this plane ride?" And so I ended up moving up and got to sit with her, and we just got to like chat more. I got to get her perspective on some stuff with my own business, and um, it was just like really cool to see how that all unfolded throughout the course of the event, from like going from complete strangers to hearing her speak and like wanting to learn more about her. And um, we still are like staying connected. I actually ended up asking her if she wanted to kind of be like a business accountability partner in a way, where we like actually meet regularly and talk about our big goals together, and just like continue this journey and like continue supporting each other so that we um, can make the impact and take our business to the next level and have that type of support to continue the momentum. And it's just crazy how that like all unfolded. And even like some of the things that she's discovering about herself after sharing at the event, because it was a very intimate experience, the event overall. Like people shared things, um, and just got like super, a lot of people got like vulnerable or like asked questions, and you could just see the mindset shifts happening and the growth happening. It's such a God thing sometimes when like things like that unfold in front of you, and you start to see like why you were meant to be in that room, or like who you were meant to meet. The other thing that happened when I was there is, so there were like incredible speakers that were in this room that we got to ask questions to, that we got to meet, and just like chat with basically, which was really really cool. And one of the reasons why I felt very called to be here was because one of the speakers was someone that I had been listening to her podcast and following along her Instagram page since 2020, back when I was doing a network marketing business. And she has just inspired me in ways that like I didn't even realize, and has helped me believe in myself in, again, ways that it's just like she doesn't even know me, and she's just impacted my mindset in so many ways. And so when that was announced that she was going to be at this event, it was kind of like I felt very called to go because of that reason. And it was super amazing. Like I did get to connect with her one on one. I got to hug her and everything, and like tell her that I've been like listening to her since 2020, and she was even on my vision board in 2023, which is like, oh my gosh, like I get emotional thinking about that, because it's like I would have never thought that that was something, like that I would get to like actually interact with her one on one. She was mainly on my vision board as like inspiration basically because of everything that she's been doing in her business. And it just was like, I don't know, it's just like crazy. Like, again, like it's a God thing when you look back, and it's like, who would have thought that I would have had that opportunity 4 years later? But the other speaker that I really connected with and resonated with, I actually have hired to be my business coach and mentor. And that I had no intention of doing. Um, it's actually really crazy. So, a lot of the speakers, I think all of the speakers basically had service based, like coaching businesses. Um, and there was one speaker that has a product based business, which I'm like, I'm a product based business. So, and there wasn't very many product based businesses, business owners in that room either. So, I think that it's just not as a common business model for a lot of people, which is fine. But it's crazy because this speaker, I actually knew of her. I had been, again, following her since I think 2022. She owns a supplement company for your gut health. And I actually have tried her products before, like literally like back in 2022. And I signed up to be like an affiliate for her business. And yeah, so I had been following her for 2 years, and she was in that room. Her energy was insane, like super awesome energy. I loved it. And this wasn't even intentional. I had no intention of like trying to reach out to her and like ask her questions, which is kind of stupid because I like should have had that on my brain. But I ended up in the bathroom at the same time as her. And I was kind of like, I didn't have any intentional, like, again, like, I wasn't like, I need to talk to Bridget and ask her these specific questions. It's like we were just in the bathroom at the same time. And then I had remembered that she had this affiliate slash ambassador thing with her business, which is also something that I have been wanting to integrate into my business. And so I just started asking her about it. And she started talking and telling me, like, how impactful it has been in her business and in the growth and like reaching more people. And she had said something, like we were still just like chatting, and she had asked me a question about my business that made me realize how small I've been playing with myself and my aspirations for my business. Which, side note, she has scaled her product based business to 7 figures in less than 2 years, which is incredible. And she had asked me a question like about revenue with my business, and it made me really realize, like, wow, I have been really limiting myself and my capabilities and the things that I really think that I can accomplish, and just like believing that I am not that person yet. And she said it in a way that was so nonchalant that kind of like unlocked something in me, which later on, when she, because this was before she spoke at the event, she was a panelist for 2 different panels that we had. And one of the panelist topics was they were talking about wealth and like revenue in businesses. And I loved how she was very like, we are the same person. Like, that was one of the first things that she said. Like everyone in this room, like we are all the same. Like, don't view me as someone who is like way further along than you. And I think that that also helped me, just like not even me realizing it, um, because there was a question that I had had where it was at the end of their, Crystal was asking them questions, and then at the end she was like, does anybody have any questions? And I raised my hand, not really, like it was almost like an instinctive thing. Like I didn't even, it's kind of like an out of body, like my body just reacted when she had asked if we had any questions. And I had raised my hand, and while I was waiting for the microphone, I was like, wait, what am I going to ask? Like it was just, it's it's so weird looking back now. But so I got the microphone, and it just kind of like came out of me where I was like, look, like I feel like I've worked through a lot of my money blocks. Like for me, money in, money out, like I don't really have this emotional tie to it like I used to, which makes me feel like I'm ready to bring in, like I'm ready to like upscale my business a little bit more. But I think the thing that's holding me back is if I do end up like, my business ends up blooming a little bit faster than I expected, I don't know how I'm going to handle that. And XYZ, like if this happens, then like I don't know how to deal with that, blah, blah, blah. I was like trying to explain how I was feeling. And immediately they all like wanted to say something, but they were like, essentially the message was you feeling like already worrying about the success that is going to come your way and stressing about the success is what's blocking it from coming into your life. And that one really made me be like, oh my gosh. And they were like, if you can fail, like if you can get excited about failing and um like taking action faster than you feel ready to basically handle the outcome that could come from it, and getting excited about that, the faster and more successful that you will be. Because ultimately, if you have this dream or this vision in your heart, then you also have it in you to be resourceful and to like have the tools in your toolbox to handle that vision that was placed on your heart, essentially. And like you have everything you already need to figure it out. And that really like sat with me deeply, because it's like having that inner knowing of like, I just know that this is what I'm meant to be doing, but then also having that trust in yourself that like no matter what, like it'll get figured out. Like I believe in myself full-heartedly that I can figure it out every step along the way. And like I've been given the resources, I've been given the tools that I need up into this point to handle it. Is like it's like the most comforting feeling in a way, because it allows you to just like release the worries and the anxiety and the stress of like the how. And I think that that's something for me personally I've struggled with like letting go, because I'm like, well, how is this going to happen, how is that, and what if this happens, how will I handle that? And it's like completely releasing that. Okay, I'm dealing with some storage issues, so hopefully I freed up my phone a little bit more for the rest of this video, because I'm almost done. Um, but anyways, once you release the worries of like the how and what's gonna happen after and like all these things, there's just like this peace, this like relaxing feeling that takes over. And I really felt this. So after the event, on my plane ride, it was like, oh my gosh, my mind was just like going on and on, like racing and like all these things. And in my head, I was like, I really, really was like feeling a tug to see if I could work with Bridget one on one. And I knew it was going to be an investment. But I was like, I need to take action now while I am like at this level of energy and like at this frequency. And that's the thing, like if you go to events like this, like taking action right away is like the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself, because again, you're at this high vibe frequency that is naturally like going to come down as you go back to your regular environment. And I was like, I need to keep this momentum going. Like that has been like the thing for me all year, is like using momentum to the best of my like advantage. So that was like really what I was feeling. And I was like sitting with that feeling, because I'm someone who likes to likes to make decisions based on how I'm feeling, how it feels in my body. And if I can like avoid the whole like the how behind it, like the logistics, all of that stuff, I feel like I'm better off. Obviously, like be realistic with yourself to an extent, but So anyways, I reached out to Bridget after I got like when I got home. So I basically had a whole day of like 8-hour travel, and I messaged her before I could like think myself out of it, and was just like, I want to know what how can I work with you? Like I need to know this. Like I am feeling pulled in your direction. Um I want to try and learn from you and really take this business to the next level. And I told her, like, because she responded to me and was like, I love that, like her energy is just like incredible. I freaking love her energy. And I'm like, I want that in my life. Like I want to keep that in my life. And um she had me tell her about things with my business and like my aspirations. And so I told her, and I was like, I didn't even know I wanted this, like I didn't even know, um like I want this now. Like I want to go for these things now, and I want to achieve this, and I want to achieve that. And I just like hadn't realized how small I was playing with myself until I had like gone in that room and asked my questions and talked to these women who literally have done the things that I want to do. So we end up scheduling a call together, and like she tells me what to expect, like if we work together, like here's the investment, like all this stuff. And of course it feels like, oh my gosh, like like everything's like, oh my gosh, that's a big investment, or I haven't spent this much money before. And I felt all those things, but at the same time it still felt like this event is what you needed to push you to expand to your next level, a level I've never been to before. And I have been fully trusting that feeling ever since. Um, and it was crazy what I felt in the moment I said yes to her. It was like this overwhelming emotion feeling that like took over me. Like I started bawling. I actually recorded it, because I'm like, I need to document this, which I don't think I'm going to share it in this video, but I might share it like later on down the road. That was like a really vulnerable thing for me to do, but I was like, I need to document this. And yeah, I was just like crying, but like not because it felt like I made the wrong decision. It was like this feeling of like I just feel so taken care of. I feel like I just made a decision of like a level of belief in myself that I have never felt before. And yeah, it just was like, I think it was just like my body like expanding into a frequency that I've never felt before. And if you know, you know what that means. Like if you've heard about um that type of stuff before, like you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was like I just like unlocked a whole new level in myself just by saying yes to investing in essentially myself, and saying yes to myself and saying you are worth this, like you can do this, like you are capable of anything you want, like literally anything I want, I am capable of it. And it was like that moment of fully believing in it for the first time in my life, because it's like it's one thing for someone to tell you like you are fully capable of like achieving anything you want, and then you're like, yeah, but then like deep down you don't really actually feel it. This is something like I actually felt it, and it was like, oh my god, like I am capable of it. And it's like it gets me emotional just thinking about it, because it's like I've spent so much of my life like not believing I'm capable of doing things that I want, or that have been placed on my heart, or I worry too much about like how am I going to do that? Like it feels so impossible, or it feels so far away, or it feels like I have so much I have to learn first before I can do those things. But then you watch other people doing them, and then you get like this whole comparison stuff, and it's like I can't think that way anymore. I can't allow myself to think that way and shrink myself, continue to shrink myself, because this vision was put on my heart for a reason. And there are people that need to like hear about my brand and hear about my mission, because it's like it was meant to impact other people. It's not just about me at this point. And if I continue to play small, then I can't impact those people that need to hear my mission and need to hear my messaging. So I'm like so excited to work with Bridget and see what we achieve in the next few weeks of working together, and seeing just like I know time is going to collapse again by working with her and getting her eyes on my business and helping me figure out what what are these next steps to really take this business to the next level in 2025, um and like achieve these big goals that like they get me so excited to think about, because it's like I can't wait, and part of what I've been doing recently is like I've been visualizing like that is my life right now, and I've been feeling that feeling that you get when you think about like having the things that you want. um that's been something that I've been really doing almost every single day, which I should probably even be even better about it. But like feeling that feeling as if you already have the things that you want, because essentially you do, like a version of you does have exactly what you want. And it's like the more you can like tap into that frequency and allow the energy to like just be that in your body, again, the law of attraction, like you're going to attract what you are into your life. And it's like I have to continuously do that so that I can attract the things that I want right now. And I know being in her world and like even just talking to her, she's already going to like raise up my energy and raise up my frequency and help me realize like all the possibilities and everything that maybe I don't necessarily see right now. So, gosh, like being in that room was so impactful for me. I just like, I'm so glad that I was there and where I'm at now and getting to share this with you. I hope that it inspires you and reminds you that you are worth pouring into. And even when the decisions feel really scary and we start to get in our head about like, how am I going to make this work? But it's like in your heart, you want it. I feel like that can be a challenge for, especially if you're like me and you make decisions like that, where it feels right to do it, but then like the logistics of it and like the how of it can feel very overwhelming. I've just learned that like trusting in God, like taking everything one day at a time, like everything has been fine. And any kind of stress that I've had about it was a waste of energy. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this inspired you to take yourself to the next level and to invest in yourself, pour back into yourself wherever you need it the most right now. Because seriously, like every tiny little step that you make in your journey, whether it's a small investment or a big investment, is worth it like 10 times, because it leads you to unlocking new levels of yourself that you have maybe been like blocked from stepping into for a long time. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have takeaways, please feel free to drop it in the comments. If you have questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day.